Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to 2022 Youth at Hope Style, and I'm here to just give you an opening message to our new topic that we're going to be doing for the next few weeks. And we kind of mix up the groups, and we hope you have a good time chatting and learning together. And so here we go. Our topic for the next few weeks is called practice. So when you hear the word practice, what do you think of? Maybe you think of a sport that you practice or you go to practice for that sport. Maybe it's like a musical instrument that you play, and in order to get better, you have to spend some time practicing. But there's another meaning for this word that we don't hear very often. Practice, the other definition of practice, is taking a theory or an idea and then putting it into action, and then doing that action regularly or habitually. So we do lots of practices every day, all of us. So we have a theory that education will give us knowledge and skills that will benefit us in the future. And so in practice, we go to school. Theory, regular meals help people have the energy and nutrition that they need to live well. And so in practice, we eat 3 meals a day. In theory, sleep is an essential function that allows your mind and body to recharge. And so in practice, we get 8 hours of sleep every night, right? Right. So practice is an intentional, regular thing we do that is based on some sort of theory of its benefit for us. So from the very beginning of the church, when Jesus had died and rose again, he commissioned his disciples to keep following him and making more disciples. And then as they did that, practices began to form in order to make that happen. So there was an idea or theory that was critical to their faith, and they turned that idea into a hands-on action that became a regular, habitual practice. So many of these practices are still with us today, and that's what we're going to talk about over the next few weeks. Worship, prayer, communion, Bible reading, and church, as in like going to a church service. So most of these things are probably familiar to you if you've grown up in the church, but a lot of times we get a little foggy about why we even do them, or like what benefit they even have for us in the first place. So there's 2 places that you might be at the beginning of the year in terms of like all this Jesus stuff. For some of you, you have a relationship with Jesus. You want that relationship to grow. You want it to be more important to you. You want to know Jesus more. You want your relationship with Jesus to be real and a powerful part of your everyday life. And for some of you, like you're not even sure why you're here. You know, like you like coming, maybe you have some friends here, and you know, you're kind of like about Jesus. And you know a lot of people maybe who are really passionate about him, but you're not really sure where you're at or if that's ever going to be you. Will that ever be you who's that passionate about Jesus? But the solution in both of these situations is practice. If you have a desire to know Jesus better, it will happen when you commit to doing these things regularly and habitually. If you don't have a desire to know Jesus more, it's also these things that will help you decide for sure if Jesus is what you want for your life. So if you were in church last Sunday, a week ago, our friend Billy Dunn was here and he talked about this quote. And it's one of my favorite principles in life, but I hate it. I think it's dumb and I wish it didn't exist. But this is a quote from Andy Stanley, and he says, "We don't drift in good directions. We discipline and prioritize ourselves there." We don't drift in good directions. We discipline and prioritize ourselves there. I so badly want it to be true that we could just drift in good directions, that we could like put a little effort in here or there, or maybe just show up for small group every week, and that would translate into closer relationship with Jesus. I would love it if that was the way that it worked. And I want that to be true for all of you so bad. Like, I want what we do here to result in you having really strong faith like 5 or 10 years from now or for the rest of your life. But it doesn't work that way. So how many of you have ever run a 5K? This is what's true about running. And again, I don't like this principle because I think that I should just be able to run a few times the week before the race and get like my best time that I've ever gotten in a 5K. And I think that every year. But your results on race day in anything, any competition you do, your results on race day have very little to do with the actual effort you put in that day and way more to do with the effort you put in 300 days for the 300 days before that. You don't just become stronger and faster or better at anything because you try really hard on one day. Your results on game day are the direct result of practice. When your faith is put to the test this year or in college or after college, and it will be, the results that day won't be about how hard you tried to believe in that moment. The results will be the direct result of the daily work that you put in for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years of daily practicing these things that strengthen your faith. And so, this is what we're going to talk about for the next few weeks. These practices. What are they? Why are they important? Why do we do them? Where did they come from? And I hope that you will think about maybe one of these things that you will start focusing on doing as a practice, as a regular, habitual thing throughout this year that will help you get closer to Jesus. So have fun discussing, chatting, looking up your verses, and learning together. Bye.